Yeah.
Okay, what I said is, let us have a template for each chapter.
Okay.
And no more than one subheading or two subheadings. And that will decide the font size of the subheadings also. The bigger the font will be for the first subheading, and the smaller one will be the second subheading. And the second point, structural feature is, yes, you are taking photographs from the internet and putting, but that will increase the page size, but I don't think that we'll be using photos within the text for two reasons. One, if we have to use it, should be black and white. Otherwise, the cost of the book will be very high. Or I don't know that. So wherever you put in, certainly we cannot use those pictures which are taken from the internet, but as for a suggestion, you can have them. But that will not count towards the pages, 5 pages or whatever, 5+ pages for each chapter. Then at the same time, now that you are also getting yourself immersed in the subject and the chapters. And certainly it's not as simple as that I speak today and tomorrow the chapter is finished. No, I agree. It is going to take time because you have a different angle and I have a different angle. And to merge these two into a smooth flow may take a bit more of time than what we expected. But still, we have to finish this because now that we started, certainly by December, we should be ready. And I thought about that, not to have any pressure on you. Even if I do not know whether the Pravasi Bharati Divas people will agree for the launch. Somebody is asking on my behalf. But if you know someone, please find out. Okay. Even if they say yes, there's a simple alternative. The alternative is we'll have the website ready to order the book if it is so interesting to people. And we will have 5 to 10 copies hand-bound printed in Delhi, in Indore or somewhere, and take that to the stage for the 5-minute event.
Right.
And we'll have a flyer for the book instead of anything else. And the flyer will have all the details about the book and also where to buy. The flyer structure is also very simple. Whatever back cover page that you are going to give by Monday, Tuesday, back cover text, and the one front cover picture, which I'll be working on and trying to get. And if you have the designer, send the contact and we will try that as well.
Okay.
And the next thing that I want you to do while we are working on the text is it will take some time to negotiate or agree for a publisher. I do not know. I never went out to any publishers. Prepare once you finish the back cover thing. That in itself is sufficient, I think, to let the publisher know what is the subject and what the content could be. And therefore, if they are interested in what are their terms, certainly I'm not going to pay them whatever fees that they ask. In return, if they want to publish, they have to give me some kind of royalty or some assurance, some money, either upfront some and the remaining later, like many other book deals. But let us listen to them, what they have in mind. Otherwise, there is an international book distributors in England and US. They take money and they place the book in many, many places.
All
so
right.
That is another channel where if we have to pay money. Because these international channels, they have a knack. We don't have to print any book. They take money
Okay. Okay.
and they give it to the stores, and the stores will print on their own. They give 30% to us if they on the sales, meaning they assure us, say 200 stores, like movie thing, only to place. And based on the sales, which no one can actually guarantee for any book unless there is some high value associated with the person or the subject, explosive subject. If we are writing Putin's biography from US, yes, it will be an explosive subject now. Putin the Unknown is the title. Then you can sell 1 million copies easily.
Right.
But you should have the content.
Right. Something interesting.
Yeah, which means that someone who worked with Putin in England and came off to US, and if he happened to be my neighbor, I actually have Russian neighbors. So if we get some local news, it need not be authenticated. That book will sell well. So that kind of a stature I don't have now. Therefore, if a publisher, please send this by Wednesday, as soon as we finalize the back cover thing, send it to the publishers that you know, and let us see what their intent is. But there is another way the publishers may work well for this book. There are publishers, they exclusively print only for universities and colleges. And universities and colleges are supposed to, according to the AICTE norms, they are supposed to buy X number of books. So under that universities guidelines, there are at least 1,000 universities in India, and there are at least 5 to 10,000, not 10,000, yeah, 5 to 10,000 agricultural setups units by the government of India. So if they have a contract to supply books to them, this book will definitely be the right one. And there are separate channels. So in those channels, if they can take this too, yes, they make more money than us. There's no doubt about it, because in any situation, in any book, that is very well understood. So these are the 3 points. 1, template. 2, back cover. 3rd, designer. 4th, publisher.
Okay.
Please send these things. Now, coming to the Akira Endo, when I prepared this list, certainly I prepared like brain dump. Whatever is on my mind, I have dumped. Now we have to reformulate the story in a storyline. Obviously, the story happened not in a linear fashion. It went back and forth. My Bolivia trip certainly happened in 2014. By then, I was quite well advanced to the Quinoa project or the Netherlands project. Or initially, of course, Canada is little earlier. So if we give chronologically for a reader, it may not be interesting because it appears a random thing, but that's how the nature is. Nature of the things that happen. It's not by design, things did not happen. As I was progressing, or as I was moving forward or backward, things happened. Now, when we look at from a distance in time, it looks different, and probably our job is to make it look nice If I go into the everyday detail, I have some ability to go into the everyday detail because I have books where I write down what I did each day. Just bullet points, not in detailed diary or anything. So from that, we can piece through and fix some points here and there. But unfortunately, that will make it like looking at a mountain very close. You will not see the mountain or forest. You'll see only trees.
Right.
Which is not a nice picture. So the book has to give the details, all the trees in the forest, details, description of the trees in the forest, but the book actually has to present the forest, not the tree. So we go by the chapters that are already here without rearranging them now. So the next one is Akira Endo. Akira Endo is a scientist that you can read in the book that you downloaded, Einstein book. There's a chapter which we rewrote from Billy Woodward's book. And please read that before you start anything on this Akira Endo chapter.
Okay.
And there is some good coincidence between Akira Endo and me that is strange, but it is true with all the facts, that he was a postdoctoral fellow at Albert Einstein College of Medicine in New York, Bronx, New York, 10 years before I joined. And he did his critical work in, I'm giving only a brief, but you can read the details. He did his critical work in US, but he went back to Japan. From a distance, everybody praises Japan. Oh, Japan is a great country. They are hardworking. Their science is extraordinary, all those things. But we belittle, say, India and other countries. But when he went back, he was never cared properly. All those details are there. By just serendipity or chance factor, he could establish that the cholesterol problem can be solved with a particular type of pill or medicine. Eventually, that became a medicine. Like I said before, he did not envision the entire spectrum, like Australac, of the whole problem for acid reflux problem. But his work was the cornerstone foundation for multi-billion dollar. It is probably 10 times more than what Australac's work, because every year, billions of dollars are being made because of that work. And of course, there's several people, other people were given Nobel Prize also in that direction. But Akira Endo did not get any. And not only he did not get any here in the world, but also his government also did not recognize him. The only consolation he had was for some of his, one of his birthdays, 3 Nobel laureates, I think, went to celebrate with him because they declared, or they know, they have gratitude to say that based on his work, they received the prize. And when he has some kind of cardiac problems, he went to a doctor. And the doctor told him that don't worry, your problem is not such a big thing. There are wonderful drugs that scientists have developed. I can treat you with one of those drugs. The doctor doesn't know that this is the man who did it.
Okay. He must be laughing, no?
Well, he did not tell. I think whatever that the realities of life, or not everyone who does good work is rewarded proportionately, because there is no automatic blind system to recognize your work in a highly systematic manner, like 2 plus 2 is 4.
Right.
So that is the essential point that I want to take from the Akira Endos. And therefore, I don't feel bad, even if we were calculating thousands of, hundreds of crores of quinoa business may happen, but I may not get a proportionate part of that or credit for that. So that is about the Akira Endo chapter. And what points should be in the Akira Endo chapter and what points should be in the other chapters? I think it will be better from now on that if I give some bullet points for you to talk, ask questions rather than monologue from my side.
Okay.
So previous day, I would send bullet points to you. And then you try to link the bullet points in some fashion in your mind. And when you are linking, obviously there'll be a lot of gaps. And those gaps, you will be asking me the questions and I'll be answering them. Then the chapter will become better rather than if I keep on talking,
Okay.
it may not gel well as a chapter.
Right. Right.
So from now on, for the next chapter, we should do that.
Hmm.
And there is another thing that came up with Akira Endos. Maybe Akira Endos will not fit well here at this position, because no doctor or no one said that quinoa is great and you eat it now at that time to me. Now many people tell me that, oh, quinoa is great, and I keep smiling and keep quiet. So it may be better that we give that as a chapter at a later section or
Right.
later part.
I think so. I think
So
so.
there is a chapter relocation or order of chapter may change. Yeah, I'm getting your Word documents, so I'll do the track mode and send them back to you.
Okay.
So what next from your side?
Pardon?
No, what next from your side in this call?
Goal. More lag movements.
No, no,
Next chapter?
that's what I said. In the next chapter, I will give the bullet points.
Okay,
Two
okay,
things have to happen.
okay,
First, you have to read that chapter, or
okay,
you have to read about that person,
okay,
and you have to see the bullet points. Then you make a plan for the chapter in your mind. You don't have to write it down.
okay.
Then make your questions, list your questions, and
Mm-hmm.
we'll discuss those questions.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because if we establish a structure of
Mm.
working, that's what we are trying to do.
I think that would be better to give a interesting tape to the chapter.
Yeah, then only it will move fast. Otherwise,
Yeah.
dumping the material doesn't help
Mm.
you to make
I
a
think you
chapter.
should send for two chapters. This is what I believe.
Huh?
Keep on sending for, one by one for all the chapters. So, we can go with the flow.
I will. That's what I'm saying. From now on,
Mm. Mm.
you will get the bullet points for the chapters. But our first task is to finalize this before Tuesday,
Mm.
my time here, which means Tuesday evening, your time, is to finalize the template, publisher, designer.
The publisher, I'll have to find out if anyone
No,
agrees without.
no, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Not finalize, sorry. Finalize the back cover
Mm.
and then go to publishers. Send it to 3-4 publishers
Mm.
that you know. Let us listen to their comments.
Mm.
Outright, they may say, no, we are not interested. And to someone who says that they are interested. But meanwhile, I really want you to find out in India who exactly sells these books to the agriculture libraries
Okay.
or Government of India, Department of Agriculture.
Okay.
Because there are so many departments
Yeah.
and a few thousand is not a big deal for them. When they sell a few thousand,
Mm.
they know how to get the money.
Right.
Easily, the book can be 900, 400, depending on the government rate is different from the public rate. Public
Mm.
rate, I don't think it can be more than 400. But the
Right.
government rate could be institutional price, could be 600 or whatever that they decide.
Yeah. Even the agricultural colleges, they must be, some kind of a, what you call, they must be
Libraries,
having sourcing. Yeah.
there are rules for all the all the colleges to buy books.
Mm.
The allocated money has to be spent on books.
Right. Right. Some sort of a budget.
So if it can get into that, then we'll be
Mm.
very comfortable in
Mm.
working with them.
Right.
So please do some research in the next 2-3 days. By
Sure, sir.
Tuesday, let us clear all these factors.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
And tomorrow is anyway Sunday.
Yeah.
And let us skip Sunday, Monday, because you need time for these two. And whatever you send, I will work on it and send back to you. And again, we meet on Tuesday morning, my time,
Okay.
which means Tuesday evening, your time.
Right. Right. You're having a morning tea, I'm having evening tea.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, this is how I finished another book, K.K. Muhammad's book. I was editing that book. I was not writing the book. I was editing that book and I finished it every day morning. 1 hour. Easily I finished in 1 month.
Mm.
Yeah, 40 days maybe. The whole book, 250 pages. Okay. So we'll meet again on Tuesday morning.
Okay.
Today is a very short session, but I expect that we'll have 1 hour sessions from Tuesday onwards, so that the entire chapter is covered.
And if possible, you send me the points. I'll keep on asking questions. And another one thing which came into my mind was, some interesting incidents also, which if you can remember, like supposing there is one talk like you're talking about, say, visiting Bolivia, or say any chapter. So something, which actually is relevant to the structure of the book also, the chapter also, but it is something which is very, very interesting, or something which changed your way of thinking, or your way of working. So if you can give me some incidents also, I think that would be more interesting also.
Definitely, there will be. See, you picked up Bolivia chapter, but there are
Mm.
plenty of incidents in the
Mm.
entire journey which are so dramatic sometimes, but they can be so banal.
Mhm.
It
Right,
all depends on how the story is told.
right.
Because the same Ramayana is told by many people, and the very story can be said in 3 lines, and it can be said for 3 months,
Right,
and thousands, particularly in Gujarat,
right,
thousands and thousands, probably lakhs, will listen every year the same story, right?
right.
It all depends on how you present.
How it is told. Right, right.
Because the way that my journey, my plan to go to Bolivia, the first thing
Mm.
that I said that I want to go to Bolivia in the family, then immediately everybody's checking on the internet. They said that the last American who went to Bolivia for quinoa was killed.
Seriously,
Yes,
he was killed.
he was killed.
Why?
Reasons are very complex. Maybe it could be a simple mugging, but he was trying to get the seeds from Bolivia.
Okay, okay.
Bolivia is not a normal country. Indians, anyone who's thinking that, oh, India is so bad, they should see other countries, not United
Seriously,
States. Don't compare with the developed countries.
right.
So he was killed. So we will talk about that, but now that we have a little bit
Sure.
of time, let me finish that point.
Yeah.
So what I did, immediately I called the State Department, US State Department in Washington, D.C. They said that you have to contact the Bolivian embassy, US embassy in Bolivia. We will not be doing anything from here. So I called the Bolivian embassy, sorry, United States embassy in La Paz, Bolivia. Then I explained to them. They immediately assigned an officer to me within the US embassy. And that officer, lady, Pillsbury, her last name is Pillsbury, like the atta you buy.
Okay.
And she was communicating with me, and she said that we will definitely ensure one escort and constant communication with all the people that you are moving. And if need be, at any point, if you feel threat, we will contact the police and the Ministry Interior, that is their internal home ministry kind of thing. Then I started making, of course, their first suggestion is take one translator to stay with you constantly. So I took one, Mariana Nogales, through a scientist's niece. She's a niece of a scientist. And she is very fluent in English and, of course, obviously Spanish. So with her constant communication with me before leaving, we made all the appointments. I submitted all the appointments to the US Embassy, and they were in touch. And never I had any issue at all of that sort. And I met their highest head for the biodiversity, a political appointee, like a minister or someone, and all the engineers, all the scientists. So everything was a public, open rather than a clandestine operation to visit Bolivia.
Great.
So all those details were there. In fact, the whole file is, I pulled it out and put it outside, all the contacts, all the communications. So each one can be taken, told in an interesting manner. As we prepare the paragraphs, maybe changing a word here, changing a para there, may make it much better. That will come to that later.
Okay. So we meet on Tuesday now?
Yes, Tuesday. Meanwhile, please try to accomplish all these 3 points. And Tuesday we'll decide the back page, and then we can send it out in the following few days, 3-4 days, to the publishers to find out what their response is. But within your circles or contacts, if you could establish some person who is selling books to Government of India or state governments, that would be great.
Definitely. Definitely. Okay. Have a great weekend. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.